Hello?
Hello.
Are we live? Are we
Hello?
real?
Gamers? Any gamers?
Any
I'm
gamers
in the
in
first
this
half
chat?
of that.
That's great. How's
I
how's the weather been?
It's cold.
Snowing. Snowing.
noticed in the pre-show there are a lot of webcams on, a lot of people bundled up in the house. You all staying warm inside?
It was
Gotta
snowing
attend.
the pre-show. I'm actually doing a show outside right now.
Damn.
It's
Okay.
just you can't hear any traffic or anything because
Right.
everything is being dampened by the sound of snow.
Right, the snow is just so loud that it's deafening everything out.
Yeah, exactly. No, we fool around in this show.
We have a
number
little
one,
fun.
number one tomfoolery podcast.
We'd be lost without our tomfoolery. We got a
got
lot
some-
ready, prepared this week.
We got some I Love Joeys in the chat.
Battery 70%.
My headset is at 70%.
What is this background of like the mustacheless Luigi and the
I searched
the
bootleg
green-
toy, and this is something that came up.
Can you
Yeah, I can show you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you just shut down the N64 screen for a sec so I
Yeah.
can see everyone else? Oh my god!
There's Mario, Luigi, and Luigi.
That's what I look like when I bleach all my hair.
Oh,
Except Koopa. Koopa looks kind of fucked up.
His eyes are certainly going somewhere. I like that it names them both. Like, this isn't... Oh, look, it's Mario. And you get two of them. It's Mario and Mario. And who could forget Luigi? And Luigi.
To be fair, it is kind of hard to discern that the leftmost Luigi is in fact Luigi, so
That's true.
Uh-huh.
the title kind of helps.
bootleg toys.
That's our next topic.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we can't call them bootlegs. They got to be called knockoffs.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the inferior weird product is a knockoff.
Well, it's like, people think bootleg means bad, but it doesn't always have to be.
No.
Well, definitely not in this scene.
Well, yeah.
And
this-
I kind of feel like almost sometimes making something that exists, or is that a knockoff? Is it neither specifically? If it's like a recreation of something that already exists, does my question make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. But I guess in a sense, it already exists. The music already exists, right?
Yeah.
true.
Makes me think about how it feels like Nintendo authorizes its own knockoff toys, because I feel like when I started seeing like the World of Nintendo action figures and stuff, like those were coming out like right after Amiibos, and so they seem like the cheap knockoffs of Amiibos that don't really do anything.
They really did seem like, oh, we just need a cheaper version of this. They sure did.
Well, the coolest part about Amiibos is they're unlock shit and they're like
Mhm.
DLC.
Yeah.
Like
They
being
like-
able to just shoot up in the sky in Skyward Sword in the Wii or in the Switch remake was amazing because that was the most annoying part about the fucking game.
What do you do?
Oh,
Just fast travel or
wait.
something?
You don't fast travel, but you can get to the sky without touching a statue.
No,
Oh,
using the
Skyward
Amiibo.
Sword. Okay.
That's kind of like fast travel a little bit.
And then in Twilight Princess on the Wii U, if you had like the wolf, I forgot what it did. It like gave you extra hearts or an extra life or something weird.
I feel like the Breath of the Wild amiibos are pretty cool. Like the gear it gave you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like games that use amiibos for their speedruns though are kind of bullshit. I don't think you should be able to do that.
Agreed.
Well, is there like an amiibo category?
Isn't
No,
there-
I think it's normal.
Really?
I think so. I mean, there might be. I feel like the standard category uses amiibos. They were like the standard any %, but I could be wrong.
The forbidden
There-
speedrun.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's an amiibo list category though. Nope,
No cheating.
not any of the main ones. This is now a speedrun podcast.
Speedrun amiibo bootleg toy podcast.
You heard it here, folks. #1 speed running amiibo podcast.
If I knew how to speedrun, this channel might get like a lot of random people joining in, but I do not know how to do that.
Speedrunning
One
is
day
too
I'll-
much pressure.
One day I'll start playing games on the channel, I promise, and I'll do them as fast as I can for the fans.
I am speedrunning Chrono Trigger right now.
What is a thing you think you can speedrun, Aramis? Or like not to like professional standards, but like something that you personally think that you can do a
Anything.
decent job.
Yeah. Anything you put in front of me, I'll beat it quickly.
Whoa.
What do you want to see me speedrun? I'll do it. I feel like JRPGs are stupid to speedrun. I wouldn't do that.
Agreed.
Such as Chrono
They're
Trigger.
not even interesting to watch. Typically. Like there's like a cool moment, but it's like 8 hours of just okay, you found a way to get to the next bunch of text.
The original Dragon Quest is the exception. Have you ever seen the speedrun for that?
I haven't. Is it all fucked up?
Take the cartridge
It-
out a little, isn't that it?
I don't remember. I remember it's a lot of command abuse because like the steps dictate random battles, and like you're able to like walk through the entire game without like encountering anything but metal slimes. And I don't know. It's been 3-4 years since I've seen it, but it was so entertaining to watch.
I feel like I would be compelled to do Crash Bandicoot or something.
Well, you gotta do Donkey Kong Country.
I've never played that game before.
Well, now you're gonna speedrun it.
Okay, that sounds fair.
Yeah,
I'll-
yeah.
I will.
Realms.
I will commit to that. In fact, on this channel, I will do that.
Damn. Good luck.
Is it hard?
I think so, but I'm not good at those games. But we believe in you.
I did briefly dabble in speedrunning the Lion King game on the SNES.
Oh. I love the I love when people do like non-traditional like games that don't necessarily have a narrative plot, like when people speed run all the break the targets for
Yeah.
Smash and they do it blindfolded too, like that stuff.
Blindfolded speedrunners are ridiculous. This is in fact a speedrunning podcast now.
It's an aspirational word.
So why are you speedrunning Bomberman Hero?
Just for shits and giggles. And I can tell
great.
I know what I'm doing.
There's no greater context, is there?
No.
That's beautiful.
Like, I'm lining
Well-
all these shots up just right, because I know what I'm doing.
Did you all order a new Bomberman Hero today?
I did.
No.
I have not yet, but I very most likely will.
I don't like the cover.
I'm still on the
Never-
fence. I
Pretty
don't- yeah.
uninspired feeling, even if it is cute.
I almost like the cover.
The cover
think it
is from the same artist who did like the Loco Roco cover from Fangamer, and like I think looking at the two in comparison, like I feel I don't know what kind of interaction the labels have with the artist, like what they tell them, but it's like it feels like Loco Roco got a lot more direction, and like it
Mhm.
feels like
I d- I
Bomberman Hero looks a little just like here are
Just
some
feels
assets. and
empty.
they put some plastic.
Was Loco Roco actually done with clay, or is it just drawn that to look
I-
like?
Thank you for
I
the
don't know, it's-
subscription.
Is Bomberman Hero actually clay, or is it like it looks like a model to me, but I don't know for a
It
fact.
looks like a little toy.
Well, I want to
Thank you
like
for
it,
the-
but I don't think I quite do. I don't like the Konami watermark. It's the bottom right of it either. I'm not sure if that's going to be on the jacket, though I assume it is. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not big on it.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think it's just lacking, and like the overwhelming amount of blue is just.
It's a lot.
Uh,
Is it the same different artist from Mega Man Legends? Because the Loco Roco and the Mega Man Legends jackets kind of remind me of each other a little bit. They both have
I'm
that.
not exactly sure on that.
I don't know how to read. Oh yeah, it is. It is the same person. Mushba,
Shout out Mushba.
the Mushba classic. Let's get Mushba on the podcast.
So we can say, hey, we didn't like that one.
What the fuck what was going through your head when you made this decision?
Why all the blue, Mushba?
No, I don't know. Bomberman's charming, and I think the
is.
minimalism is kind of cute for it. But I certainly like the boot
The
quite
boot
a
cover
bit.
is just
The
like
boot
perfect.
art. Yeah, it looks nice. Simple,
And
cool,
clean.
spacey. Yeah.
It makes me
But-
think of Bomberman Hero.
It really does. Yeah.
I am, as I've gushed about, and we have on the podcast before, but the big fan of the Bomberman Hero soundtrack in general, and having seen Jun Chikuma complain about, I believe that she made some sort of complaint on
Yeah.
Twitter about the boot existing in the first place, like
She
a couple
did.
years ago. I feel like because of that, I'm especially compelled to
Yeah.
to buy a copy. I don't know how the whole money thing works for when they're paid or how much they're paid, but I feel like I'd be in the wrong to not support her.
We have
and
to
buying.
apologize
Yeah,
for the booter sins.
It did feel.
I'm sorry.
I'm so
I-
fucking sorry.
I'm sorry. My friends have done this.
I felt that way, and that's why I bought Bomberman 1 and 2, but like that side A with Bomberman 1 just felt so. I mean, I knew. Well, actually, I think I actually bought it without realizing what was going on, with it being like a 3-minute side A, and so that was a little.
Is it that short? I don't remember discussing that when we talked about it before.
I didn't either.
It's 11 songs and it's just 3 minutes, so it's just like sound effects mostly, or
Yeah, I think that's why it has the. That's not rotoscope. I forget the name of it.
is it ISO something? ISO. I can't remember the name of it.
But
either.
It's
the
got
images
stuff on
that-
it.
yeah,
the like etching on it, zoetrope.
Zoetrope. that's it.
Zoetrope.
But yeah, I mean that was like, I'm sure it feels weird to try to license something that has such little music on it,
Yeah.
instead of going for a bigger soundtrack with Jun Chikuma's involvement in it.
Sometimes it feels like some of these records are just made because they know some of it will sell.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like it's less weird now that you see more of the music is being done from the series? Well, like,
Not less weird, but I feel like it feels like it's doing more justice for her, though.
being discussion that it may be a 2 LP.
Yes, it
So-
is too.
Oh, that's cool.
whereas the
Didn't
boot
notice
is just
that.
the one.
Well, that
Is
may be
there-
reason enough on its own.
Is there enough content to stretch it out to 2 LPs? Is that?
That's the question.
Mhm.
I mean, even if it's just longer loops,
Mhm.
the game deserves it
Oh, for sure.
because these songs, they do just go while you're playing it, and I certainly don't mind hearing it over and over again.
Hmm.
I did see some information that not every song on the CD is going to be included on the official pressing.
I no longer
Apparently,
want it.
so I guess there is enough music to stretch across
I guess
both
so.
releases. If that's the case,
Hmm.
I don't know why that would be the case if a 2 LP is being done, but must be sufficient. But yeah, I think I'll end up buying it. I don't see why I wouldn't.
I mean, that is the name of the game today. Of how worth it is sometimes buying these boots or
Hmm.
official releases when there's a
So-
boot already made.
So we'll get to the whole thing about the ship to shore, what they said in their item description in a second. But I brought up this topic yesterday in our little podcast chat, and that one of the things I compared it to was comparing a release like this where someone is licensing someone else's work to the Doshin the Giant official release, where it was that pretty much done. I think that was pretty much done with Asano own involvement, right? Like I think
Yeah. It's basically what his release was for his CD.
yeah. It's no one came up to him. I think he was the one who approached, like, making an LP out of that. And I think, does that make any difference how much the actual artist is involved with the release of the music? Because people can get licenses and like the artists have zero input on
Right.
like how a release is conducted.
It certainly made me more interested
Absolutely.
with the official release of Doshin. Though, from my perspective, I'm not sure how much it necessarily factors into like the business side of things.
Mm-hmm. It made me happier to purchase it. Like, it made me act more quickly to do something like that.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
are
when,
there?
when
Oh,
you
what's
hear
up?
about these artists catching wind of these bootlegs and they're like, well, shit, wish I knew about this, or like, damn. Because I feel like for both these artists, that happened, so it definitely made an impact. In the communities that's aware, be like,
Mhm.
I guess we should help out since you actually care and you're not just like collecting a paycheck on this money and or whatever.
Was there discussion from Asano about the Doshin boot in the past? I don't recall seeing anything about that. Had its like existence been acknowledged?
Frank had told us at a point. That he
Oh
was
yeah,
aware.
yeah. I recall hearing.
I think he was maybe not the happiest about it because he
Mhm.
was still selling the CDs of that.
Right. Yeah.
And
But-
that's a whole other.
There is the
Like-
idea that though he never would have thought to do the record without the bootleg existing,
Yeah.
which could be true, but hard to know.
Yeah, because there's a cultural different. Like I don't know how much of a cultural divide there is with like video game music on vinyl, which is so weird when you think about the history of video game music on any format that's not the console, because like that was they'd never release video game CDs in the US in the 90s because like no one really thought people thought that no one would buy it, and they only really had it in Japan, and now it's like the tables have turned, and now like US is like all about like it's a whole new culture here with video game music.
Yeah. And the explosion of it in recent years has been kind of crazy.
I do think like I don't know, there are some
Realm blames TikTok.
Valid.
So
Generally, just
where
generally blame them.
the artist becomes aware of the music and like I don't know, like they didn't seem upset by it. Like David Wise has signed countless bootleg
They don't
records
fucking own it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. In most cases, the artist probably, they're not.
If the game came out in the 90s, they got their ass ripped off hardcore doing music for games. They don't own shit. They're probably like, yeah, hell yeah, stick it to Nintendo. Like, fuck Sega.
They're like, oh shit, this exists? Dope.
Yeah, I remember Josh Mansell being on Twitter, like, finding out about the Crash Bandicoot release. And he was like very excited when someone sent him a copy.
Yeah.
I feel like his original comment was something like, "Oh, it looks like you'd buy a bootleg of the Crash soundtrack," and his comment was something along the lines of like, "Hopefully it," or I'm guessing it looks better than it sounds or something.
Yeah.
Which was a hilarious irony on many levels, but.
That's the Crash
I don't
special.
think artists see it like anything other than like fan art and shit. No one's pressing like 5,000 records of like bootlegs.
Right.
I guess maybe it's where there's like a misconception of maybe that a shit ton of them are selling on eBay for like hundreds of dollars, and they're like, wait, is this how they sell?
The booter conspiracies.
Yeah.
They have people in their group that buy them just to put them on eBay. Blah 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 blah.
I mean, I don't think they probably think about it that hard though. Like
no, exactly.
They
just see eBay and they're like, whoa.
They're not like, how do I get into this secret boot group?
Please invite.
Can someone please tell me?
Oh my god, how do I get on the fucking VGM for all fucking podcast?
David Wise, like, how do I get this record? Please invite.
I'm curious if there's any, if there is any video game soundtrack musician who collects bootleg video game vinyl. I feel like there must be like a couple, like maybe like a more recent like indie game composer. I feel like there could be some who may, but
the one that does Super XYX, right, collects?
Oh,
that
well, I thought that was just the person who put it out for that musician is like in the main group. But is that the actual musician as well?
Karina?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if she was a musician or just the like person who put it out.
I think so.
I think they composed it.
Oh, that's cool. Wait, yeah, well, because a bigger label did that, right? Respawn did it or something?
Yeah, Respawn put it out.
Oh, okay.
We found one.
Oh yeah, she is the composer. I didn't realize that. Well, there you go. There's the answer to my question. Podcast solved. It's over, boys. Pack it in.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the VGM Gossip Hour for All Jeff Foxworthy podcast. We'll be here next week talking about food. Thank you.
I saw Realm asked earlier about the official pressing being hardware sourced. I assume it was like 10 minutes ago, but I assume
Yeah.
they were talking about the about Bomberman Hero.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys know the answer to that?
I don't.
I think
that was in regard to Bomberman Hero, yes.
Bomberman Hero, they mentioned on their product site that product listing that it is hardware sourced, which is like, if that's the case, that it seems like Bomberman Hero is getting like the least good representation, because there is a CD you can source from, but notably
I
the
think the
N64
CD sources are
is-
bullshit because they have a reverb on them. The way that they're all mastered has this weird ass reverb. I honestly hate the CD sources over hardware.
But over an N64 hardware, everyone, like, there has been no shortage of complaints about how N64 compresses audio.
It's true. I've heard about that. I've read a book about that.
So in that case, would you rather have the CD audio, or would you rather have the compressed N64 audio?
I guess it would just depend on how compressed it sounded.
Yeah, that's something I'm
It'll
not
be interesting to hear the difference between the boot.
fully
I bet
aware.
99% of people won't even fucking notice.
Well, there is that too.
I am curious why they chose to do hardware, and if it had to do with, like, maybe they just didn't have access to the CD since it's so rare and expensive, or if they
Well, if they have a
decided to.
license, then they can get the files from the.
That's what I thought.
They must not
yeah.
have the files anymore.
Someone's got to have them.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Like, maybe it was just an accessibility issue of the CD sourcing, or I'm not sure.
Mhm. I wonder
It
if
will
they
be cool to compare.
I wonder if they did go through like Hudson or whoever they went through to get that licensing.
Trying to
Because it
compare the
was-
track list to see the difference between the two, between the boot and the official coming out.
So it seemed like if they now have a working relationship with Hudson Soft, that would open a lot of doors, and I wouldn't imagine that them as a company wouldn't have like raw audio, or at least
Yeah.
have someone that has access to the CD audio.
Datadisc does hardware sourcing.
Mm-hmm. Well, not all the time. I mean, they do it for like the Genesis games.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, they're newer tech games.
Comparing the
Sonic
track list-
Frontiers hardware source.
first. There is quite a few songs on the official that aren't on the boot, so I feel like that alone is worth it.
Yeah.
Are there official releases of things that were booted that aren't worth it?
What does our little slideshow have?
I mean, easiest example of a no on this one is Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a gimme.
8-Bit
I mean,
was so lazy
it's-
with theirs.
It depends what you mean by worth it, I guess, because in some ways, like, Doshin isn't really like worth it from a what you're getting
Yeah.
perspective, but to me that one is worth it because I love the soundtrack and the reasons we discussed before. So I guess it kind of just depends like what you mean by that. Because like Turtles in Time, that just looks like shit, like.
Is it worth
It sounds
owning
terrible.
because is it worth owning to show your support to the original composer?
That's a good question because it's like I don't know who composes that, whereas like we have an idea with the other ones, but and I don't know if that's just me that not knowing.
Yeah. I mean, then I would say one that's not worth it. I'm trying to look at the slideshow and see how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I think there's also the Mega Man X stuff.
That's still I don't even own that boot still.
It's
But
a,
as I've
it's a
said,
rarer one.
I've never really been much of a Mega Man person, so neither are really that worth it to me. So I'm a bad person to ask for that
Whoa.
specific release.
And I know that the Castlevania one introduces the conundrum of should I support it even though it's like a 10-inch record, and I know some folks have issues with non-12-inch records.
Yeah. I mean, I bought those. I mean, they were cheap. Was another thing too. Is the accessibility.
They were definitely an add-on, not something you buy by itself.
Like Doshin was a rare record to find, and if you did find it, it was pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then the official came out, the boot price went down, and you could just order it wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
The official, that is, I mean.
What about the case of the Mondo pressing for Metal Gear?
That's
Yeah.
also another one that had a double LP versus a single LP.
Yeah.
Mondo doesn't have the PS1 jingle,
Uh-huh.
right? Or does
It
it?
does not.
What's the point?
That's be a big deal breaker right there. Non-ironically.
Metal Gear was a weird boot for me to come across because it was like I love the Metal Gear Solid series, but then when I got that record, I was like, I only really know a couple of these songs that I would actively listen to as opposed to putting it on. So it definitely
Mhm.
made me reconsider getting the official one after already being hesitant on owning the boot.
I feel like the official I mean, it's a fuller soundtrack, but it's we've had this discussion in the Discord before about fuller OSTs versus selections.
Yeah.
I feel like don't even do it if you're gonna do a selection. If it's a bootleg.
You're
Like
all
I
or nothing.
understand all like the money constraints like of a normal label and stuff, but if you're a bootlegger, like then you can do whatever the fuck you want and you're not bound by any fucking rules and you choose to do a fucking selection just so you could do the album when you're obviously not equipped to be doing the whole thing,
Mhm.
you shouldn't be fucking doing it.
I'm trying to think of circumstances where, like, I would prefer a selection over a entire OST.
It would have to be
I
like
mean-
a really ambient soundtrack where like none of the songs are memorable.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with some horror
Breath of the Wild.
soundtracks, like some horror soundtracks are like they'll
Yeah.
have a lot of ambient tracks that are very similar, and I feel like I don't mind there being selections in that
Oh.
case.
As Ron just said, Portal 2 was one I could have taken a selections over a full 5-disc set.
Yeah, because then it becomes kind of overwhelming, you know. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a point where it's like too much. Like when I don't know. Like there's certain soundtracks where like I wouldn't want to miss a single track on it. Like,
Yeah.
like Majora or Sonic Majora. Obviously, it's like,
You're right.
There's no reason I wouldn't want every song on that. But you know, if there's like a horror soundtrack that's like 3 hours long with this ambient selection, like all the ambient songs, or it could be cut down to like, you know, a 2 LP or even a 1 LP, by doing sound selections. Like I would almost prefer that because then it just becomes less of a chore to listen to and
Yeah.
to store and to take out and to put away. And I feel like sometimes that can like even something like the Persona 5 box set. Like I don't know. There's sometimes where like there's just so much repetition in the soundtrack where it's like I could almost do for
Well, Persona 5
smaller
was
release.
dumb. I listened to
Yeah.
that like on my own turntable for the first time, and it just set up so weird.
Yeah, not to mention, yeah, exactly. Like the track listing isn't like I don't know, great.
The sequencing is
So,
like end of the game fights on the first disc,
yeah.
and then
So I
like,
don't know.
mini games. It's dumb, but yeah.
From like a collection, like a collector, like archivist point of view, like I definitely agree about like wanting entire OSTs at all costs when possible. But I see the time and place for like selected tracks for sure.
And I mean, it's part of an issue with sequencing. It's part of an issue with what someone wants, but something that a release that comes to mind that is a full OST that I feel like people may have preferred selections is maybe even Mario RPG, just with that third disc side B being just all the game over songs. Like I feel like people maybe don't listen to that so much, but it what I like is that at least the option is there. Like even if that's not a side that gets a lot of love, like at least it's all there. But and at least like all that music is contained on a single side, so it's not like peppered throughout the record. like with the Banjo-Kazooie 4 LP where it's just like
Grunty's
grunties.
Lair.
Grunty, then grunty.
Yeah.
Do I think the
Yeah.
other Persona box have better track sequencing? I think so. Like, no matter what, Persona 5 is just so all over the place.
And like Bigo said, like especially if it's something that's probably like not gonna ever get done again. Like
Yeah.
I definitely
as
see
well.
the appeal of having everything. But I'm less hardline about that personally.
Some people brought up like it can be cheaper, so
Mm-hmm.
more
Yeah, but like,
accessibility.
why? I'm saying it just as in a bootleg sense.
Yeah, I get
Right.
that.
It's cheaper is why you're doing it as a bootleg. You shouldn't
Nah.
be doing it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, from a consumer perspective, I imagine. So you.
Yeah. I said that and then I was like, actually.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think a good like conceptual vision is something like in like respect in any given context. Like if it feels executed properly, like
Whoa,
I think
wait.
it's
What the fuck? Smile Buddies disagrees?
son of a bitch.
Can we
What the
have
fuck is that? I'm gonna take that smile right off their face. How dare you have a different?
He's in our waiting room. He's no longer in our waiting room.
What's like? Hello?
Hello?
Look,
Hey.
what do
We're
you
ready to fight.
No, all I was gonna say was even the worst boot can place the seed for the next good one. That's all.
That's true.
It has
on the same label.
No, not from the same label. I'm just saying, like, even if it's like a selection, even if it's like, hey, that wouldn't have been cool, but at one hand, it shows it's like it shows that there's an interest in that thing, but also that there's enough interest to be like, hey, I can do it better too. So
Yeah.
So what you're
Then
saying?
you run into things like Pokemon. Like, is it even worth to do another one?
Because there's
Like, is
so
it even
many.
worth it for a label to come out with a third version of it just to fix
like
first two
red,
fuck
red,
ups?
blue, yellow, green.
Yeah.
Those guys? Yeah. That's a good point, because that one...
How many of the
knows?
same thing can we have before people are no longer even interested in buying it?
I bet
Well,
most
people, and then
you'd
there's
like one
FOMO
10
people
more
who
times.
gotta have them all.
Right.
That's it. See?
Gotta catch them all. You might even say.
That's just like Pokemon. That's cool.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm just not. Listen. Come on, listen to me.
No.
So what
No.
you're saying is we should be grateful to Select Start Records for putting out
Yes.
so many
Exactly.
shitty versions of good soundtracks.
No,
I dig it.
I'm saying I think that there is like a yin and yang to it. That it's like, yeah, it's like it would be cool, but also like, I don't know.
Yeah, like
What is
Kenny
what
just
is
said,
not?
the folks who have remade SSR/Ozeki releases, I'm sure have a chip on their shoulder to do it right.
Do you
Remade.
think?
Yeah, do it right and do it once. So then there's like no argument to do it again.
Yeah.
So with the
Especially only if you're a bootleg though. This has nothing to do with like real labels. I just feel like some booters get into it, they have like zero clue, they have like zero money, and they do like this budget release when they should have just like never just done it, just left
Right.
it for someone else to do it right.
So with the Doshin, like the official release, kind of like knocking down the want of the bootleg. Like I still see people put ISOs out for that.
The
It's
old
a-
one or the new one?
The old one for the bootleg. I still
Yeah,
see people.
because there's some like catalog collecting aspect of this all.
Yeah.
Everybody makes their own little spreadsheets up and they want to check off those boxes.
Sometimes
Do
the
you think
box
it
is
would
more
be-
important than the record.
I would say
Do you
most
think-
people collect like the labels they like. So maybe
Uh-huh.
it's just like from a label they want to collect their whole set.
I also
I
think in
in
the
this
case
where
of
the artist put it out, it's 100% worth to support the artist
Yeah.
themselves.
yeah,
It's like the perfect case scenario.
I think in the case of Doshin, the variant also looks really good on the boot. That's like I think
Yeah.
it looks really appealing, and I can see some people wanting it still because of that potentially.
Jim Bob's the right idea in the chat. Yes, everyone go make your bad Mario Party releases. Make them really bad. Sell them and
Seriously?
You'll get a good
Yeah.
Mario Party release.
I'd love to see that. Let's see those bad Mario Parties so we can see the best Mario Party release. I'm ready for the Mario Party box.
Do you
Party
think
bus.
if someone put out an entire Mario Odyssey OST, that the value of the soundtrack selections 1 LP would lower?
A little
'Cause, like,
bit.
Depends on who put out the big one.
Yeah.
I'm like at this point like have like a group of labels in my head that I call the golden labels. And if it's not put out by a golden label, then it's probably gonna suck ass.
Oh, but don't you love being surprised by it?
I don't know. There's a whole group of people out there that like are giving people advice for clout, and it's the worst fucking advice ever. Embarrassing. Like, if you're shipping from the US and you're not shipping from a Whiplash, what the fuck are you doing? You made so much money and you can't afford to fucking ship in Whiplashes?
Uline
Yeah.
only.
Fucking, they do not miss the days of Uline mailers. I'm glad most people have made the swap to Whiplashes
In
because
some way, yeah.
there's just no reason not to. Like,
Or
In-
people pulling KH insider sources still? Like, yikes, who the fuck is telling people to do that? And then it gives steam to the comment that Ship to Shore made, you know? Because in retrospect,
Oh
at
yeah,
this
we
point,
didn't even bring
it's a
that up.
toss up.
yeah, there was a comment from Ship to Shore.
Mr. Ship to Shore.
Yeah, on the
And
Their
that's what gives
Discord
birth to
server.
that. Like, people just putting out shit.
what was it? Saying it'll be good to have the new pressing because the CD is rare and the boot is low quality.
Something like
Yeah.
Something like
Something
the
along those
inferior
lines.
quality bootlegs, and it's just like
I personally never felt that way about the Bomberman
that.
Hero boot.
Not once.
It felt like a
But-
generalization towards bootlegs.
Yeah,
That's
that's kind
how
of
it feels.
that's kind of what I assumed too.
But there are a lot of inferior bootlegs. It's 100%
More
true.
and more are popping up.
Totally. It's 50 for 50 at this point of a new label popping up if they're going to be good or not.
It seems like maybe pressing times are turning around a little bit for some plants and,
Yeah.
and things starting to come around more. So maybe that's part of the accessibility. Maybe that's a good part of the lack of accessibility that was going on during the pandemic is less people were inclined to have their money in limbo for a year while they waited for their pressing to be made, and so people are feeling a little more courageous to get things pressed that they wouldn't have otherwise.
Someone's out there giving bad fucking advice. That's all I'm saying.
And last year did get a lot of love from Bomberman Hero at our end of year podcast. Like,
Yeah.
can you-
It was
Yeah, we've
in
been
a lot of
we-
our
Most people
talks.
like that release.
I mentioned it, yeah.
What do you think, Cody?
Never heard.
What?
bad
Forgot I
things
was
about
on.
that
I'm so
album.
sorry.
I did too, and then I saw you. It just pleasantly listening.
Why do all the Bomberman like NPCs in the N64 games look so much cooler than Bomberman himself?
Because
Like that-
Bomberman's Bomberman.
Fighting and like the
Gotta bomb the
silver dude from Bomberman 64.
It's timeless
I
and
think
simple.
Mega Man thinks of Bomberman.
Mega Man can get stuffed by Bomberman.
Are they like friends or like arch nemesis?
Perhaps
I would think
lovers.
lovers, yes.
I feel like if I was
Co-workers.
Bomberman, I'd love Mega Man, but if I was Mega Man, I'd fucking hate Bomberman.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't like that canon because I think of Bomberman as being way cooler than Mega Man is.
Yeah. Sometimes
What?
he looks mad.
But
Mega
anyway,
Man's the coolest.
Bomberman is so cute though, and he fucking drops bombs everywhere. Like, what's there not to love?
What a weird
I
concept.
was asking you, Cody, what do you think of Bomberman Hero? Have you heard it?
Yeah, I ended up trading my copy. To,
What the fuck?
I don't remember. Might have been Alex.
No, I have my original copy.
No, then it was someone.
I mean, I know there are 14,000 Alexes in this community.
Good point. No, I can't remember who, but I just didn't listen to it as much. But I did like it, so I am very excited about this.
Get to have a go around again.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say that about. I seldom try to trade anything because I usually like, you know. But
You have an idea that you'll like something.
yeah, like I'll be like, oh no, this, yeah, this isn't really go anywhere. But yeah, no, it was just exciting to see that announcement.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about Bomberman Hero.
Will you be getting the official?
I think so, yes. Not
Confirmed.
right away.
Cody is the biggest Bomberman Hero nut in the community.
Right behind Pac-Man Repack. No.
That's right. When, do you
Y'all
thi-
know
when are we
my
getting
top-
Pac-Man Repack on vinyl?
well, I was looking at a selections.
Okay.
Just because it's a pretty long game, so like
Yeah, there's a lot of
there's
music.
a lot of
And people are going to be upset if their favorite song from Pac-Man Repack isn't on there.
well, that's like the first thing people talk about when they talk about
Right.
Repack. You know, it's just like there's the amount of composers that they brought on for Repacked is
And
just
a lot of big
phenomenal.
names.
Big names. Big names. I don't even want to get into that.
You're right,
now.
there's too many.
Yeah, like Fool's Errand.
It's,
That's what I'd say.
it's impossible.
It's a doozy.
It's a doozy.
We have fun.
Number 1 Pac-Man Repack podcast.
Yeah, check out PacManRepack.com right now. I think they've got this Power Pellet special Black Friday coming up. It's in anticipation for Black Friday. It's not really any promo or anything, but it's just like an ad for the game, I think.
And who could be more excited than us?
Oh,
Notoriously Pac-Man's favorite holiday.
Black
Check out
Friday.
the website for hints, cheats, message board. Well, don't go on there. Stay here. Stay on the For All Discord.
Hey, don't change that dial.
Yeah, don't go on the message board, but maybe like save an avatar or something.
Yeah,
and you
get a
can do
wallpaper.
So I've got a question that kind of relates all this. So I feel like I've said this before. And that like we're talking about, boots that eventually get official releases. Do we support, like, how would you support them just by nature of them being official or whatnot? I honestly, I still don't confidently feel like I would be gung-ho about buying Nintendo releases officially. Like,
Yeah.
if suddenly got into it.
Oh
Are
my
there
God.
any things like that you all think of? Like if something that you have a boot of has an official release, would you be like, nah, I already have the one I like?
I said
I
it
mean-
already, but Metal Gear Solid, I just had
Yeah.
no want to get again.
Something that comes to mind is like the Morrowind soundtrack, for instance. Like, I know there's people who would want to buy that who probably would not want to buy an official release
Right.
as to not support the composer, which is like the other end of the spectrum there.
Like the best
So
reason
I-
to bootleg.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
But-
that's a lot of nuance in the question, huh?
It is, isn't it?
I feel like that's the only like type of situation where that to come up with any game I cared about, where I like would probably explicitly try to avoid the release. There is something I was considering is like with the Final Fantasy releases. There's obviously, many Final Fantasy boots at this point of in a lot of cases like full
Oh my God, don't even
OSTs.
get me fucking started on Square boots.
Well, but
Let's do
This-
another one.
but I mean specifically like with the official releases, like I since they're broken up into a lot of like most of the time compilations of
Yeah.
tracks from different games when they're released by Square, I could see that sort of being like less appealing to people who are into the music,
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of another interesting fringe case, like where the music isn't being put out in a like complete OST fashion.
And it's just so confusing because it's obvious Square knows that people want this stuff, so they keep making them, but they keep making
Them
not
wrong.
at all what people want. So it's like, huh? Very confusing.
Did you have one in mind, Alex G, about something that you like?
Like
You
I
probably.
said, I
Oh,
think
right.
the way you were describing Square is the way I feel Nintendo would approach it. Like, I just don't have confidence that Nintendo would do that. But like,
Did you purchase the Animal Crossing KK slider?
Toadkill, no, I have not yet. I've meant to, but that's also like there is no. No
I just think the people who
bootleg
put them
that
out don't
KK
play the
slider
game.
stuff.
They have
For-
no clue.
For official or boot releases?
Official.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Unless they're like a specifically like video game label that's only putting out video game stuff, then they don't play the game. I know fucking Ship to Shore does not fucking play those games.
I mean,
They were literally like a horror label, like a horror soundtrack label. And then they knew there was money in video games. But they don't play those fucking games,
Hmm.
and it shows.
I felt that way a little bit about like I really loved the Norco soundtrack, but like the fact that like what the label Sacred Bones put it out and they have all this stuff on the soundtrack page about this band that like their music isn't even in, like it's like image music almost in the game, like it's not actually in the game, but like it's the product page is written up in a way that suggests that the band Thou is like totally is every bit of their soundtrack, and it's like it's so much more than that. But
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, yeah, I feel like their involvement is strictly because Thou is like a label that they.
yeah, and you gotta give
That's,
them
yeah.
a little bit of a pass because they're not like this was their first approach to like a video game release.
Right.
So, but yeah, so that's worlds different than someone that has like a label that has spent the better half of the decade putting out video game vinyl and making most of their income from that.
Check out Channel 3 Records. They
Yeah,
got
that's why we simp for like Channel 3 and all the cool ones.
they
And
put
elude me
some.
because I'm so high right now.
Very, very
see
okay
Channel.
for putting out not playing visual novels and putting out their soundtracks. So I
Yeah.
don't have to play
Yes.
them, but I get to listen to the music.
Yeah, I didn't even like.
With very cute artworks across the board.
I'm-
The
I've
passion
never-
That
is
that
limitless.
did they announce something new? I can't remember.
I mean,
They
let-
did.
Did they?
Yeah.
The bag in the bag.
Yeah,
Or, that's not. Is that it?
milk outside a bag, outside a bag of
Yeah,
milk.
outside bag inside. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I've never even heard of that.
Same,
game.
but it was like, oh neat.
Oh, it's good. Well, from what I've heard.
But it is nice being able to trust that the label's putting out. They're familiar with the source material that they're putting out.
Yes,
They're putting this for, you know.
exactly.
And I can really appreciate that a lot.
Mhm.
I think that really goes hand in hand with what Pico's saying. It's like, especially if you're going to blind buy something from a game you're not familiar with, it's like, I can trust. Like, you're looking to a label as a resource for taste. And I think
They're
that's
a
like,
curator, or
Yeah.
at least
yeah,
supposed to be.
That's a good
and
point.
that's the most important aspect, in my opinion, of a record label. Like, you should be able to look at a record label and say, I know I'm going to get good music or a good package or both. You know, I feel like as a collector, that's really important to be able to rely on record labels for that. And you only get good music and a good package if, you know, for the most part, if a label is familiar with the source material, like such that they can put together something that's visually appealing, or that they are being selective enough to only put out things that sound good and aren't just like money printing machines.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, especially with the two labels we mentioned just a moment ago, between Very Okay and Channel 3, like that's something that you can rely on. In both cases, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so
Right now. Oh, sorry.
when you get sort of like, you know, half-ass packaging or whatever else, like, I don't know, I could, like with, like, you know, Turtles in Time, it's like, why would you buy that record? Like, if you saw that, like, I can't imagine there's a single person who saw that jacket and was like, I want that record. Maybe like as like a like pizza bacon irony like person, but like,
Yeah.
fuck, I don't know. I don't even feel like you could convince that type of person to buy that fucking record just based off the jacket alone.
I mean, it's sold, so I'm like, maybe.
yeah, I know. Maybe it's once again the whole. Maybe I'm actually the stupid one. and
Maybe you
those
are.
Labels
How
those
could
labels
you?
is ones.
Bruh, it's a fucking pizza box. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like the sprite in the game.
I don't think I bought that official line. I think I only have the boot.
Yeah.
The end
Trying
of
to
the
look
day.
over some of our comments. What was that?
Oh, nothing. Who's playing Bomberman right now?
Me. Atrix.
He made this one jump a little bit ago that made me like gasp. I covered my mouth.
I was doing some risky plays.
It was scary.
Getting those speedrun strats down.
Gotta. I mean, we were talking about doing speedrunning, so I'm
Exactly.
practicing.
I feel like Bomberman would be a fun game to speedrun.
I do too. But I feel like it would require a lot of practice.
Mm-hmm. Got a lot of love for Bomberman, and so far from Ship to Shore, I'm apprehensive,
Yeah.
and I hope they do up their game though, and we get something like a Super Bomberman OST.
I want to be compelled to support official releases. I don't want to just do it
Exactly.
blindly because they exist. As much as I would like to, in theory, like
You're right.
there's just too much good stuff being put out as far as boots go to like feel some like moral compulsion to support an official release if it's not like really good, So
Yeah.
I just want to see the quality be up,
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the jacket's better than I think it is, or maybe it'll look better in person. If it's a gatefold, there'll be cool stuff on the inside. I don't know, but I want to feel more than like I said, more than a moral compulsion to support it. I want to
Right.
like it.
I want it.
know?
I want it.
And I want to get my money, vote with my wallet about like the quality of the official releases coming out. Like I want to say, good job, you did a better job than what already existed in a boot form. Like, have money, keep doing that.
Yeah.
But if you don't like how it looks, and it's like, why do you even want you don't necessarily want to put your money towards supporting that.
Yeah, and also at like the end of the day, I more in the realm of wanting to like put my money towards supporting like Jun Chikama rather than Hudson Soft. I don't know how much
Exactly.
difference that, but like that's why I own like all her vinyl like personal releases. I think she's a great artist, and
She's really made herself a name as that artist too. Not to like discount other artists that haven't, but
no,
some just stick out.
but I feel like knowing the money is going more towards the actual artist involved with composing the music, makes it a lot easier to double dip on a release.
You did hear it here first. I hate every other artist aside from June.
That album she just put out earlier this year was great. The Midas Touch that Star Creature put out.
That ruled.
Why did someone just say R.I.P. Soyo Oka? I got scared. I thought she died for a second.
Because I only like Jun
Oh.
Chikama.
That scared me. I was like frantically starting Googling. I did not enjoy that.
Please never say that again.
Please, I'm going to ban you now.
But we're probably into the Hula Wee section of the podcast. now, huh?
Since I was in the middle of doing something in Bomberman, I moved to classical Loon.
Oh,
Because it was not just there. But we are in a different segment.
Are we? What do you all think about next week? Next week starts the Thanksgiving everything. Are we gonna?
Well, last year
Neat.
we had a wild and weird Thanksgiving cast.
What did
I
we
don't
do
know.
again? Some bullshit.
I just like we had no preparation. We like Cody talked about a weird pie, and
That's right.
like the sour cream pie.
Oh, I
Yeah.
still want that. I still haven't had that.
I can't find it. I've been.
Fuck.
That's a damn shame. I would like to try it. Still.
Earth, I don't
damn
have
it,
deep
Joey.
memory.
You have killed
Joey
our
just had-
Alex.
Cream and raisin pie, Corklops.
Of course.
Corklops sounds like I'm making fun of you.
I know. Get it together, Corklops.
Come on, Corklops.
Grandma's sour cream and raisin pie. Yep.
You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't get it.
Cody
Voodoo
claims
and-
it's very good, so maybe next week we'll have just another unhinged episode. Oh, and I was really sick last year. It was weird.
Like sick.
Like,
Or like
sick, but
Yeah,
also
really sick.
sick.
Oh. I remember that.
We were there. Let's just talk about last year's podcast.
do a little review of last year's episode.
Yeah.
But don't do anything about it to like make it better. Just
Mhm.
just comment
It's a
on it.
commentary.
Don't try to build upon it all.
And we'll just do
Yeah.
that every year.
Until we finally figured out the perfect recipe for a perfect Thanksgiving episode.
That's a good name for it.
Yep.
Alright, I
Got
guess we
you.
know what we're doing next week.
Well,
Are
I
there
guess
any
we're
games? I don't
We
even
are
know.
in a Discord call, yeah. Yeah. What are we doing?
I don't know.
Do we ever
we're
know?
quitting. We're
We're
quitting the show.
Quitting the show. Get us the fuck out of here.
About that time.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening.
Bring in the dancing Joey.
Bring in the dancing Joeys.
Where is he?
Oh, is he not
Yeah.
here?
Monchek. I can't drag him.
Hello?
Hi. Hey.
We keep doing things and we're just Thank you for
I
the
am a
bits,
fucking
Issa.
lobster here.
Hey.
Issa bit like a sitcom. I'm
Joey,
re-
are you
Hi.
gonna buy the new Mega or Bomberman hero?
the new Bomberman? Probably not, because I have too many things on my
Yeah,
couch
yeah.
I haven't even listened to already.
You have too many what?
I have too many vinyls.
Thank you for the bits. Glass Nova.
I
That's
can't.
exactly
I
what
can't.
it is.
I can't trick you, Joey.
No, you sure can't. You will never catch me saying those words in that order. I'm not a fucking bozo.
We rebrand the podcast to Too Many Vinyls. Podcast.
It's a very good idea. I will consider it very strongly.
Consider it. Considered.
No, now that's epic. Yeah, are you closing this out? Did you say your goodbyes?
Did you?
Yeah, you got any?
Just about there.
No wait.
Prayers.
No wait, hold on. Joey,
Hold on. Yeah.
you gonna buy Pac-Man repack?
Yes,
Oh,
I am.
awesome. Sick. That's all. Good night,
Oh,
everyone.
okay. Big
Thanks
ass
for
haunted
listening.
mansion.
Thanks for watching. We'll be here next week to review the perfect Thanksgiving episode.
Big ass haunted turkey.
Presented by Namco.
Very
Oh.
well might be that.
Presented by Bandai Namco.
Good night,
It's
everyone.
really-
Good night.
Thank you.
And we're out.
And we're out.
It's a good one.
And we're out.
And we're out.
Wave
And we're
goodbye,
out.
Bomberman.
And we're out. How do I wave? That's started.
That's it.
And we're out.
And we're out.
Oh, you're trying to wave a
Oh.
bomber. Oh, Jonas bomb.
Hey.
Ow.